They're already here, hiding in plain sight, watching us, and the countdown to first contact has already begun. What I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you believe about humanity's place in the universe. A metallic sphere crashed in Colombia. Governments tried to bury it. Then artificial intelligence decoded what's inside, and the terrifying truth emerged. We are not alone. We've never been alone, and they're preparing to reveal themselves in less than 18 months. This isn't science fiction. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is confirmed evidence of an alien intelligence operating on Earth right now, and what their technology reveals about their intentions will keep you awake at night. Decades of cover-ups, classified military files, and advanced AI analysis have converged to expose the biggest secret in human history. Before I expose the evidence that world governments don't want you to see, hit that subscribe button because what you're about to learn has been deliberately hidden from the public for critical reasons. Imagine this scenario. March 2025, Colombia's countryside. Agricultural workers tending their crops witness a brilliant, luminous streak tear across the midday sky. Unlike typical meteors that incinerate upon entry, this entity decelerates. It maneuvers erratically. It suspends in midair. Then it intentionally descends into an open space, creating a flawless circular scorch pattern measuring 30 feet in diameter. Regional officials respond, anticipating mangled wreckage and dispersed fragments. What they encounter defies comprehension. A perfectly seamless metallic sphere, completely undamaged, positioned at ground zero of the devastation as though carefully deposited. No fractures, no imperfections, no rational interpretation. Hours pass and information circulates. Researchers from numerous nations converge on the location. Colombian authorities establish jurisdiction. Press access gets blocked. Yet one crucial fact escapes containment that transforms the entire situation. This sphere isn't inert material. It's continuously performing actions that contradict every physical principle we comprehend. The initial evidence emerged from an ordinary bathroom scale. During preliminary measurements, researchers recorded the sphere at 4.2 pounds, sufficiently lightweight for dual-person transport. However, something peculiar occurred during subsequent weeks. The identical object, remaining stationary in a controlled environment, progressively increased in weight. Initially 8 pounds, subsequently 15, eventually stabilizing at 22 pounds. Physical objects don't accumulate mass through inactivity. Nevertheless, this sphere somehow quadrupled its mass without material addition. Researchers termed it impossible mass fluctuation. Temperature measurements indicated the sphere was simultaneously cooling as weight increased, declining from ambient temperature to barely above freezing. The energy required redistribution, though detection equipment couldn't determine the destination. Sophisticated X-ray imaging exposed the sphere's interior architecture, and their findings challenged rational explanation. Centrally positioned sat a concentrated core approximately computer chip dimensions. This wasn't silicon or recognized semiconductor composition. Spectral examination uncovered atomic arrangements that corresponded to no known periodic table element. The core seemed constructed from matter organized in formations that should be physically unattainable. Encircling this core existed 16 miniature spheres, positioned in flawless geometric balance, floating inside the outer shell without detectable suspension systems. Individual microspheres rotated gradually on independent axes while preserving perfect circular paths around the central nucleus. It resembled observing a microscopic planetary system functioning under unfamiliar principles. Most astonishing were the thread-like components interconnecting everything. 52 fiber-resembling filaments interwoven throughout the interior in configurations more intricate than human brain networks. These weren't conventional wires conducting electricity. Spectral examination confirmed they were optical channels, pathways engineered to transmit light itself at unprecedented frequencies. Yet, here's what generated profound concern among researchers. These optical fibers were dynamically conveying data, light pulses traveling through the network at extraordinary velocities, transporting information in arrangements too sophisticated for human interpretation. The sphere wasn't merely technological hardware. It was an operational computing system analyzing enormous data quantities in real time. This wasn't arbitrary extraterrestrial equipment. Someone or something had designed a complex apparatus with deliberate intent. What was that objective? The solution would emerge from the most improbable source: artificial intelligence. When researchers input the sphere's data into advanced AI analytical platforms, configurations materialized that human cognition couldn't recognize. The sphere wasn't simply existing there inactively, it was transmitting, broadcasting frequencies on multiple wavelengths concurrently. Those frequencies contained something that made veteran scientists doubt their rationality. The AI identified repeating mathematical progressions embedded within the transmissions. Not chaotic interference, but organized intelligence. Coordinates indicating precise Earth locations, celestial maps charting remote galaxies, and something disturbingly resembling technical drawings, engineering specifications for devices that don't exist on Earth. The mathematical accuracy was astounding. The sphere was computing orbital trajectories for objects millions of light-years distant with precision surpassing our most sophisticated supercomputers. It was monitoring the displacement of astronomical bodies we hadn't discovered yet, forecasting their positions centuries ahead with absolute accuracy. The genuine breakthrough arrived when AI cross-correlated these transmissions with declassified defense data. The configurations matched frequencies detected by deep space surveillance facilities over 5 decades. Frequencies previously categorized as cosmic background noise were actually communications from objects identical to this sphere. The sphere wasn't an independent visitor. It belonged to a network that's been functioning around Earth for decades, potentially longer. AI examination suggested this network was organizing for something significant. The AI didn't limit itself to communication configurations. It commenced analyzing the sphere's physical characteristics, searching for connections between internal operations and external occurrences. What it uncovered was troubling. Every occasion, the sphere's internal operations intensified. Seismic monitoring equipment registered abnormal vibrations in Earth's lithosphere. Not arbitrary tremors, but organized pulses that appeared to be surveying subterranean geological structures. The sphere was somehow utilizing the entire planet as a resonating medium, projecting frequencies deep into Earth's mantle and examining the reflected responses. It was generating a 3-dimensional representation of everything beneath the surface: mineral concentrations, underground formations, even tectonic boundaries that could initiate catastrophic earthquakes. This is where the narrative becomes genuinely frightening. The AI didn't merely interpret the sphere's contemporary transmissions. It also examined the residual information preserved in its memory systems, a form of technological DNA that exposed the sphere's chronology. The information demonstrated the sphere had existed in Earth's proximity for over 3 decades, methodically collecting intelligence about human society, our devices, our military strength, our vulnerabilities. It had observed the Berlin Wall's collapse, the Internet's emergence, and every significant geopolitical transformation since the 1990s. Most disturbing was what the AI located in the sphere's recent operation records. During the months preceding its descent, the sphere had concentrated extensively on particular sites: nuclear installations, military compounds, major urban concentrations. It wasn't merely observing anymore, it was cataloging targets. The AI uncovered something even more unsettling in the sphere's memory storage: comprehensive behavioral evaluation of human civilizations. The sphere had been examining our reaction mechanisms to emergency circumstances, environmental catastrophes, and societal disruption. It understood how we would respond to various scenarios with alarming precision. Environmental examination around the impact location exposed another shocking reality. The circular scorch pattern wasn't generated by thermal energy from atmospheric penetration. Ground samples displayed molecular-level alterations consistent with exotic radiation exposure. The type of energy profile that theoretical physicists claimed was unachievable without apparatus the dimensions of a football stadium. Nevertheless, this basketball-sized sphere was generating energy quantities that exceeded most electrical plants. Where was that energy originating? And critically, what was it energizing? The AI examination provided disturbing indications. Energy measurements suggested the sphere was conducting some form of matter-antimatter interaction, but in a regulated manner that human knowledge couldn't replicate. The AI examination provided a chilling response. Deep within the sphere's nucleus, quantum detectors identified matter in a condition that shouldn't exist: elements arranged in structures that contradicted the periodic table, material that remained stable despite containing atomic configurations that should destabilize within microseconds. This wasn't simply advanced technology. This was technology founded on physics we haven't uncovered yet. According to the AI's computations, comprehending these fundamentals would enable capabilities resembling science fiction: faster-than-light propulsion, temporal manipulation, the capacity to transform matter at the molecular scale. The AI achieved another breakthrough when it examined the sphere's quantum profile. The measurements indicated the sphere existed in a condition of quantum superposition, simultaneously manifesting and absent from our dimension. This clarified how it could manipulate its own mass and why traditional physics couldn't completely explain its characteristics. Yet, here's what prevented the research group from sleeping at night. If this sphere possessed such sophisticated technology, why did it descend? Why expose itself to humans currently? The AI's examination suggested a possibility that nobody wanted to acknowledge. The descent might not have been unintentional. Every element of the sphere's trajectory, its flight path, its impact location, even the chronology, demonstrated evidence of intentional planning. Someone desired this technology to be discovered. The uncertainty was motivation. The AI uncovered coordinates embedded in the sphere's navigation framework. Not arbitrary positions, but precise points that created geometric configurations when plotted globally. These coordinates aligned with locations of historical importance: ancient structures, sacred sites, places where inexplicable occurrences had been documented for centuries. Cross-examining global satellite intelligence exposed the genuine magnitude of what we're confronting. Comparable impact locations exist on every landmass. Circular burn patterns in isolated areas, all displaying identical exotic radiation profiles. All strategically positioned away from major population centers, but proximate enough to guarantee eventual discovery. We're not confronting a single crashed probe. We're examining evidence of a synchronized deployment spanning decades. Numerous spheres have been tactically positioned around the planet, and according to AI examination, they're all still operational. Recent seismic intelligence shows subtle but consistent vibrations originating from these locations. The subterranean spheres are exchanging information with each other. establishing a planet-wide network that's been functioning beneath our surface for years. AI examination of the exchange patterns discloses they're all synchronizing to the identical countdown progression. The AI interpreted fragments of this countdown and determined it's not calculating time in years or months, but in celestial occurrences. Solar eruptions, planetary configurations, galactic rotations, the spheres are harmonized to cosmic phenomena on a magnitude that makes human chronometry seem trivial. Whatever this network was engineered to achieve, it's nearing culmination. The Columbian sphere wasn't merely a crashed probe, it was a communication, a demonstration of capabilities, a warning of what's approaching next. Intelligence organizations across multiple governments have discreetly verified what researchers anticipated. Comparable spheres have been retrieved previously, but always under absolute secrecy. The Columbian situation was distinctive because information escaped before suppression was achievable. For the first occasion, civilian researchers obtained access to technology that's been concealed from the public for decades. The AI examined classified records that were inadvertently incorporated in the data release. Government documentation dating back to the 1940s describing identical objects retrieved from impact sites worldwide. Each situation carefully obscured, each piece of evidence concealed in classified programs with funding larger than most nations' entire defense expenditure. However, the most shocking disclosure came from examining the sphere's quantum profile. The AI identified characteristics suggesting this technology didn't originate from anywhere in our planetary system. Isotopic proportions indicated materials created in the nucleus of a different star, elements that could only exist under gravitational circumstances found in systems light years from Earth. The AI proceeded further, examining the sphere's fabrication methodologies. The seamless metallic exterior wasn't produced by any manufacturing technique known to human knowledge. It seemed to have been cultivated rather than assembled, like a crystal developing in space over millennia. The degree of precision necessary suggested technology that could manipulate matter at the atomic scale with absolute control. We're not merely confronting advanced human technology. We're examining confirmed evidence of engineering by a society with capabilities that overshadow our own. According to the sphere's internal chronometer, they've been monitoring us for longer than contemporary human civilization has existed. The ramifications are staggering. If this technology can be reverse engineered, it would accelerate human advancement by centuries instantaneously. Clean energy, interstellar propulsion, the capability to terraform celestial bodies and survive in space perpetually. Yet, there's a darker prospect. What if we're not intended to comprehend it? What if this network of spheres has a different objective entirely? Recent astronomical intelligence provides a disturbing indication. Deep space monitoring facilities have identified unusual activity in star systems matching the sphere's isotopic profile. Energy discharges, gravitational distortions, the type of signatures you'd anticipate from massive spacecraft or megastructures. Something is transpiring out there. Entire star systems displaying evidence of massive engineering initiatives. Dyson spheres being fabricated around distant suns, planets being relocated into new trajectories. The magnitude of construction suggests a civilization that has dominated their entire galaxy. Based on the AI's examination of the sphere network's countdown progression, we don't have extended time to comprehend what it signifies for humanity. The mathematical projections predict a convergence occurrence where all spheres will simultaneously trigger their primary operations. Whatever they've been organizing for is about to commence. The AI made one final, terrifying discovery. Concealed in the deepest strata of the sphere's memory was a celestial chart displaying the current position of the civilization that constructed it. They're not in some remote galaxy. They're already in our planetary system, concealed behind Jupiter's satellites, utilizing the gas giant's magnetic field to obscure their presence. The reality about the Buga sphere isn't merely about one crashed object in Colombia. It's about acknowledging that we're not isolated, we're being monitored, and whatever's approaching next is already progressing. The spheres aren't just monitoring us anymore, they're conditioning us for interaction with their creators. According to the AI's final computation, that interaction is approaching. The countdown embedded in every sphere indicates a convergence occurrence less than 18 months away. Whatever these visitors have orchestrated, they're not concealing anymore. They're preparing to disclose themselves to humanity, whether we're equipped or not. This is merely the beginning of a narrative that will transform everything we believed we understood about our position in the cosmos. The subsequent phase has already initiated, and the indicators are omnipresent if you recognize where to observe. Ensure you're subscribed, because when the spheres fulfill their mission, you'll want to know instantaneously. The destiny of humanity might depend on how rapidly we can prepare for what's approaching.